Greetings from the Asian Cowboy Geek. Today we turn our attention to local politics, local national politics, which the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee of Washington, D.C. decided to get involved in. They sent this to a coworker of mine who was kind enough to give it to me. And it is a hit piece against Gregory Gilman. You can see his sneering face on the advertisement there. And Mr. Gilman is the Libertarian candidate for Representative District Number 3 here in Colorado. And what gets your attention here is the, and I'll just hold it up so you can read it. Gregory Gilman says he wants to return America to the principles of our founders. But if he gets to Congress, his first act would be massive cuts to government spending. If you remove this word "but," it becomes a true statement. As it stands, it's kind of a testament to the need of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee to do a little bit of research. I happened to encounter the words of a couple of our founders here in a little bit of reading that I was doing. This one's from Thomas Jefferson. It says, we must make our choice between economy and liberty, or confusion and servitude. If we run into such debts, we must be taxed in our meat and drink, in our necessities and comforts, in our labor and in our amusements. If we can prevent the government from wasting the labor of the people under the pretense of caring for them, they will be happy. Thomas Jefferson. Here's another Jefferson. To preserve our independence, we must not let our rulers load us with public debt. Here's John Jay. Let it never be said that America had no sooner become independent than she became insolvent, or that her infant glories and growing fame were obscured and tarnished by broken contracts and violated faith, in the very hour when all the nations of the earth were admiring and almost adoring the splendor of her rising. John Jay was the first Supreme Court Chief Justice. Here's one from George Washington. I entertain a strong hope that the state of national finances is now sufficiently matured to enable you to enter upon a systematic and effectual arrangement for the regular redemption and discharge of the public debt, according to the right which has been reserved for the government. No measure can be more desirable, whether viewed with an eye to its intrinsic importance or to the general sentiment and wish of the nation. So George Washington thought that the highest aim of the federal government was to reduce the national debt at the time it had been incurred. So, DCCC, maybe Gregory Gilman wants to return America to the principles of our founders. This part of it, but if he gets to Congress, massive cuts to government spending, the word "but" doesn't belong in there. That's not the end of it. You flip it over to the backside here, and we have a picture of a mountain goat consuming a picture of Gregory Gilman. So evidently up in DCCC, they were like, hey, there are mountain goats in Colorado. Let's slap a picture of one on the ad and have it eating a picture of Gilman. Yeah. You move on to the text. We need our government to get us out of this crisis. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't the government exactly what got us into this crisis? And even if they didn't get us into this crisis, they sure attached every single one of us fiscally to that crisis, making us responsible for paying down debt or whatever it is, whatever crisis they have dreamed up here. Whatever crisis is going on, they don't tell us which crisis that they're talking about. But Gregory Gilman thinks the government is part of the problem, not the solution. I assure you, DCCC, Gregory Gilman isn't the only person that feels that way. Gregory Gilman and the Tea Party support deep, across-the-board spending cuts that will affect every government program. True. Thanks for the free advertising. They also believe that the government only has powers that are specifically mentioned in the Constitution. Well, that's because the government that is established by the Constitution is specifically limited by the enumerated powers granted to it by that Constitution. So maybe the DCCC needs to read the Constitution. Stop putting out ads like these that aren't doing them any favors and are in fact functioning as free advertising for the Libertarians and the Tea Party. Appreciate it. Y'all have fun up there in DC doing whatever it is that you do. And hey, I'll catch you guys next time.